Right, so obviously we have to push blocking to its absolute limit, right? Base of the Mountain, cool card. You can get your 3, your 4 value out of your leg piece, which is definitely really nice, or just your stock standard 2. Plays around Dominate. It's a cool little bit of kit, but it's more of an entree to what we're gonna do and everything else that Guardian has got in Mastery Pack Guardian. There's just so much tankiness available, but hats off to TCG. They're the highest I've seen so far, so they got close to 100 block on Levia, so some brute shenanigans with like Thick-Eyed Hunter, 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and of course the amulets, right? Because these definitely add a lot of block themselves. But yeah, base of the mountain is just the the base of the mountain. We can get so much higher at the tippity top. So yeah, let's go through our shenanigans. So I am playing with some setup, right? So we have a bunch of items on board, and we're going to play through a few hands to prime everything. But generally speaking, we're doing what you could technically do in the means of the game, right? Obviously pushing it to its absolute max in terms of what exactly lines up. But starting off by setting up some in the palms of your hand, which is just, one of my favorite cards. Just so good, right? Draw on the play, draw on the trigger. So as every other Guardian, couple turns still at triggers, but Pleiades, you can speed up a little bit. It still seems really, really nice, right? And then we're also setting up a Geyser, right? So Geyser is a new card coming in Mastery Pack Guardian. It's slow drip feed of Seismic Surge. You pay 2 to get 3 in the red, right? Which is really nice. I like it in Velda too, because you can get to 2 kind of easily, but then getting that third, it definitely helps smooth things along. So we'll set up 2 of them, like so, and then we can pop the gold that we got from Riches with our remaining resources. Beautiful. And that allows us to play this Nourishing, right? So there's a little bit of intellect boost, and then we can arsenal our Visit the Goldmane Estate. Now, all these cards don't matter because we will not see them again. We're not second cycling or anything like that. So in comes a little bit of damage, and I guess on the way to setting this up, we are going to take a little bit of damage, but still, nonetheless, it is going to amount to some big, big things. So Visit, Goldmane, or even Riches with Victor's Trigger, definitely really nice, right? So you can play Visit, get a gold, your Victor triggers, and then you can pop the gold with the remaining resources, and usually you'd have some mind as well to go along with it, but we're not racking up the gold as much as normal, right? So from here on out, we can just go lead the charge, and then we can play Stamp Authority, and this will be our second card in our pitch, meaning Stamp Authority gets us our intellect, and we can play the second one on top of that, and then Arsenal a Promising Terrain, which is definitely one of the pieces of the puzzle to really amping our block. So a little bit more damage, and we're basically ready to go. So there pops the in the palm, so we get some cards off of that, and now we can just set up a lot of crazy stuff. So Promising Terrain increases our Seismic Surge yield, right? And we still have our geysers for one more turn, so they will trigger. And then we have this new beautiful card, Seismic Shelter. Attack action cards you control get +X block while defending, where X is the number of Seismic Surge tokens you control, and more beautifully than anything, it's all attack actions. It's not specifically Guardian. So yeah, in conjunction with our Promising Terrain, this is going to lead to a lot of blocks. So I'll play the lead charge before I forget about the action point, because I will need that, so we can pop the Ison and the Sapphire Amulet at the same time. But 3 Promising Terrains and 3 Seismic Shelters going into a Visit, right? Pitching Grandeur, so getting some Seismic Surge off of that, into a Seismic Eruption. We can crack the gold that we just got for another draw, and beautiful, right? So now we can go Tectonic off of our last pitchable. We can go Helm off of our extra action point, and Sapphire Amulet, and end with a down and dirty in our arsenal, which is an attack that we can defend with, right? Which means it will get the Seismic Shelter buff. So they're attacking us with a 4. Oh no, that is way too much damage for us, right? We better start off with our equipment. So Gauntlets, Tectonic. We can throw out our down dirty since we can't grab it with our base. It's only 72 block, right? We can do better than that. We can go Base of the Mountain. That apparently doesn't trigger. That's fine. We'll add some stuff ourselves, I suppose. Yeah, this is... Oh, God. And then icing on the top of that. Oh, denial. I forgot to pop my stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, the Shelter and the Seismic Surge do the majority of the legwork, but I suppose we do want to... We do want to see the pots, right? So on goes the equipment. Hoarding should go up as we block anyway, so it doesn't matter. Base should as well. Right, and then down dirty, and I still can't. Interesting. Down dirty not count? I guess it just doesn't want me to have the extra block, I suppose. Never mind. Right? Still, 538. We can do this in our head, right? So it'd be 539. This would be 7 per, so that'd be 21. And that actually works out beautifully. It'd be 560 block. Yeah, 560 block. And technically, we could go a little bit higher if I swapped out Tectonic to... what's the other one? Richter scale, right? Which would be an extra 1 seismic surge, which then lead to an extra 3 per attack, which then would lead to an extra 27 block. Did I do that right? No, 21. Yeah, just a nice, solid 538 block turn. Forgive me, simpleton. Have to move to the instant step. So also can't use Richter scale. It doesn't have go again, so it would impede the Helm of Ison's Peak and the Sapphire Amulet. I suppose you could swap it out for 1. I don't know if that would actually work out to more block. I'd be 4 by 3, so it'd be 12 extra block instead of 1 extra card. No. Having 1 extra attack extra card is significantly better. Right, but here we are. We can still redo it. So Tectonic, Solid Ground, Helm, Sapphire Amulets. Beautiful. Right, and then load up the down and dirty. And we'll do this slowly because I want to make sure they're all triggering because I'd like to know what the actual big number is, right? So what do we start with to do just that? I guess we go Captain of the Guard, right? So each Captain of the Guard is currently worth 69, so it should be double that plus 2, right? Because they then buff themselves, so it should be 140. Beautiful. So Captain of the Guard is working beautifully. Right, it's 213. We'll assume that these are working then as well. So 450 there. Now, Base of the Mountain, I don't know if it actually did trigger also throughout the down and dirty. So 521, right? So Base of the Mountain should be 7, right? It should go to 528, beautiful. Hoarding of Denial should be 6, right? Because down and dirty is only 2 costs, so it should take us to 534. Beautiful. And then Tectonic, extra 2. Gauntlet's an extra 2. Beautiful. And then we can pass. Go to the instance. Go Platinum. Doesn't really matter which we pick. We'll buff. Nope. I guess it's a way to save tempo, I suppose. Right? So I guess they only really matter. But yeah. Now the big ones. The Potions of Ironhide. So this is 1 per attack. So there's 7 attacks. So this should be an extra 21 block. Right? So 46, 53, and 560 block in totality. Yeah. Super tanky as Guardian. So, yeah, standout card for me, right? At least defensively, is definitely Seismic Shelter. It's just such a strong card when you think about Seismic Surge and, you know, the ease of, say, getting to 2 to 3, right? Because at 1 Seismic Surge, the card is fair value if you're throwing out 3 attacks, right? At 2 Seismic Surge, you only have to throw out 2 attacks to go good in value, right? Where it's a 4 block blue. At 3 Seismic Surge, 2 is getting you substantial value, and better than the Base of the Mountain, you can split it up, right? You can make an attack action into a 4 block and go 4, 4, 4, 4. You can make them in 5 block, go 5, 5, 5, right? So, yeah, 560 block overall is obviously nuts. Has no real applicable use, but just imagine one day we get like a Shield Slam card that's, you know, defense reaction, deal damage to the opponent equal to the amount you're blocking. That would be nuts. But, hope you enjoyed. See ya.